Coach Greg, and what happens when Jeff Cavalier drops a 95-pound dumbbell on his toe? Nothing, because it's fake weights. No, but in all seriousness, I was sent this video and said, you got to review this. So the video starts out, Jesse's facing the camera, Jeff's Cavalier, he's walking around the back. Then all of a sudden, you hear the cursing, screaming, shouting, and a weight's dropped on the floor, and he's dropped it on his toe. And I literally am thinking he must have watched my video, and he's poking fun at me saying he's using fake weights. I'm thinking, that is hilarious, that is clever, what a funny intro. And then as I watch the video, I'm like, wait a minute, he actually did drop this on his toe in real life. And oddly enough, I just did a video about Chris Bumstead training in his sock feet, and I said, hey, he probably should wear shoes because if he drops a weight on his foot, it's gonna hurt more. I don't recommend you train sock feet. An accident could happen. Anything could happen. You drop that dumbbell on your foot, and now you have a broken foot trying to prep for the Olympia. People are like, no, you don't need to wear shoes over bare feet because there's no difference. If you're dropping a weight on your toe or your foot, you're doing the damage regardless. I 100% disagree. Not that you can't get hurt while wearing shoes, but that it can't help. Helps a little bit. A little bit. When I was a kid, I was trying to slam a frozen door. It wasn't going. I couldn't get it. I was pulling really hard. So I said, well, I'm going to brace my hand against the door, and I'll really pull this time. I pulled harder than friggin' last time, and that door swung off my thumb. Luckily, I had a mitten on. Mitten, it doesn't sound like much, but it was probably enough to keep my thumb intact. And of course, I go to the doctor. There's nothing you can do. You can't put a cast on your thumb. So it's just sitting like this. And a few weeks later, the nail falls out. It's real gross. You rip the nail off, and it's full of blood, and it's gross. Nail falls out. And for months, that thumb hurt so bad. When I was playing hockey, anyone that would slash my hand, so much pain. But better than if I wasn't wearing a glove. So you do want to have some form of protection. Sounds like I'm talking about...
I'm practicing.
Wait, Connor, do you practice safe sets?
What am I, in a Jesse James video? I'm practicing safe sets?
Safe sets?
Sets with a T.
But in all seriousness, it does in fact help to wear some shoes. Now, obviously at steel toe boots, it would be better, but it's better than nothing. And I'm sure there's going to be some comments saying, see, it proves he doesn't have fake weights. It doesn't prove anything. We don't know if it's the same dumbbell that's used in one video versus another video. And when I say people are using fake weights, it doesn't mean that they weigh nothing. If a weight says 95 pounds and it's 75, it's a fake weight. If you're actually trying to fake something, the best way is to make it almost as heavy as it actually says. If you're struggling to lift 100 pounds and it's 70, it's still pretty heavy. You're still going to struggle, and it can look like you're handling the hundreds with relative ease because it's only 70. And walking around with an injured toe, it's not good. And people do, in fact, get this injury a number of times. I know powerlifters who have literally lost some of their toes dropping the weight out of their hands using super wide sumo deadlifts. I was at a powerlifting meet. A friend of mine, he dropped 500 pounds on his toe, crushed it, was bleeding everywhere. He finished the meet. We brought him to the hospital after. Blood everywhere. It was a mess. It was a nightmare. And when I was growing up, I had ingrown toenails. Not fun, had it multiple times. They literally have to pry out the toenail. Kind of looks like a spoon, and they push it down there and rip it out. And let me tell you, there's a lot more toenail than you would expect that you can't actually see. Not a pleasant thing. So although it's not super serious, it's not going to take him out of the gym, still wishing him a speedy recovery. And I'm sure he knows that he can still train the other leg. If you get injured, and a lot of people have requested, what do you do when you're injured? Well, you keep training. You stop training that body part, but you can train everything else. If you break your arm, you train the other arm and you train your legs. You can't train your arm, obviously, but you can train everything else. And if you do that, your other limb will come back quicker. The same pathways that occur when you do a bicep curl on the right hand are occurring on the left. It's not improving it as much, but if all you did was train your right arm for years, your left arm would also get bigger. Don't believe me? Well, try it. Well, probably not going to try it, but do try it. If you break a leg, train the other leg. When I had a hip operation, I trained my other leg. When my knee was injured, I trained my other leg. When I had my elbow surgery, when I tore my tricep in a bike accident, I kept training the other arm. I kept going. I've had a number of injuries from almost every body part, some my own fault, some others, and I kept training. It is very hard. The motivation is not as strong when you're injured as when you're healthy. But that's what separates the champions from the average people. Everyone can train when it's easy, when you're making gains, when you're in a good mood, when you feel amazing. But how many people can train when times are tough, when you're injured, when you're not motivated, when you don't feel like it? That's when you really know if you really love something. If you love it enough, you will find a way to keep doing it. You might be injured, but you can still find a way to go to the gym. When I sprained my ankle, 3rd-degree separation, I kept biking with one leg. I literally was going to race the next day, and they disallowed me. They said, no, you're not going to do it. I'm like, I can do it. It's only 70 kilometers. I want to do it. So moral of the story, if you drop a 95-pound weight on your toe, keep training, doing everything else. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. Watch the bloops. Watch one of those. Also, harder than last time supplements. Don't forget to order those. Go to my website, GregDoucette.com. And until next time, I am out.
We freaked out again.